Human beings have moved from place to place in order to adjust their growing community and also to explore new lands. That's how our larger city came into existence. For example, New York came into existence only after the French claimed that the area during their exploration of America. However, there are still many people around the world where people want to keep themselves isolated from the rest of the humanity. Since this is not practically possible, but they still try to do it for the reason best known to them. One of such places on earth is Palmerston Island, which is isolated about 2000 miles away northeast of New Zealand in the Pacific Ocean. As of now, this island has 57 permanent residents, and all of them love to call this island their permanent home. They have spent their generation in isolation, and all the residents share the same ancestry and come from one person called William Masters. He was granted the permanent residency of Palmerston Island by Queen Victoria and migrated in 1863 with his wife and her two cousins. He later on married his wife's cousins and had 23 children in all. At present, William Master is the direct patriarch of nearly all of the presidents of Palmerston Island. Palmerston Island was discovered by Captain James Cook in the 1770s when he was exploring lands beyond the Pacific for the British Crown. On this island, you will not find any shops, market, or even banks. People here do not use money at all, and the residents still use the barter system for their needs. It is not that money does not exist on this island, but it is used only when the residents get their supplies from the outside world by ships. Once the ships are gone, the value of money is gone too, until the next arrival of the ship. Life is good on this island, but is not at all luxurious. There are only 2 public toilets on the island, and rainwater is the only source of water for the people, so they collect it and preserve it as a resource. Electricity is available, but it's not 24/7 supply. A telephone line is the only connection between the island and the outside world. The tourists are welcomed with open arms on this island, and they live with their families as guests. Since there are no hotels, the residents of Palmerston adopt the visitor as a part of their family. However, reaching Palmerston is not easy. It's a 2-day sailing from the island city Rattong, which is in the turn connected to New Zealand. The boats are not regular in service as the journey is cruel. Hence, if you want to live in the isolation for a few days, Palmerston Island might be your dream destination. No hotels to live, no money to spend, and no restaurants to eat might not be a concern for you since you know of Palmerston Island. But there is another island in the world that can make you feel even more isolated. That's what Tristan da Cunha is known for it. It is located in the middle of nowhere, and this is to be taken literally. The nearest landmass to the island is located 1200 miles away at St. Helena Island, and Tristan da Cunha is located 1500 miles away from Rio de Janeiro in South America and 1500 miles from Cape Town in the South Africa. Apart from that, what makes the island thrilling is the constant hitting of cyclones inflicting serious damages on it. Tristan da Cunha was discovered by the Portuguese explorer Tristan da Cunha, who failed to land on the island due to its unsafe beaches and named it after himself. Over the years, several others landed on this island. Jonathan Lambert, an American explorer, became the first permanent inhabitant of this island. He proclaimed himself as the ruler for the island and owing it to a strategic location. The United Kingdom annexed it in 1816. Since then, the island has been a part of the United Kingdom. At present, 260 peoples are permanent inhabitants of the island, and they have access to several facilities. The islanders have a grocery store, the orders to which have to be placed months in advance, as well as a hospital with an ICU and a dental section. The hospital is taken care of by one doctor who resides in the hospital itself. No electricity is available on the island, and the residents rely on the generators powered by diesel located centrally in the case of emergency. Tristan da Cunha also has an internet cafe and elects chief islander every 3 years. A perfect paradise for travelers. Tristan da Cunha has mountains, forests, grasslands, cows, sheep, and of course beaches. But if you are planning to settle down here, you must be aware that this island is volcanic and it's a last saw an eruption some 60 years ago. If the lack of modern facilities on the island of your choice limit your action to travel there, Utqiagvik might be your preference. The northmost city in North America, Utqiagvik is a developed yet an isolated city in the world. It is located quite north of the Arctic Circle and faces extreme weather throughout the year. People have been residents of this place since a long time, dating back to 500 AD. This city was unknown to the Americans until 1826 when Sir John Edinburgh discovered it for the USA. Just in case you wonder how extreme is the weather of Utqiagvik, let me tell you that the entire city is located on a layer of permafrost which is approximately 400 meters thick at some places. The highest temperature during summers goes only up to 2 degrees Celsius, where in winters the highest temperature barely comes above 16 degrees Celsius. The summers long for only 3 months, where the winter long for more than 4 months at a stretch. The people in Utqiagvik also observe the polar night from November to January as well as the polar day from May to July. Both of these are approximately 66 days along, are unique to place above the Arctic Circle. However, despite such extreme conditions, the 4,300 people of Utqiagvik lead their modern life with natural gases. Heating up their rooms and a modernized water supply and sewer system keep them luxurious. Add to this, the cleanliness in the city that is taken care of by the trash picking service and several schools and colleges to keep the kids educated. Even the communication system in Utqiagvik consists of telephone line as well as internet lines. The city also has a hotel accommodate you as well as a bank to save your cash dependency. But how does this place become an isolated one? Now here lies the catch. The city of Utqiagvik is accessible only by planes, and that too in the month of summer, which brings the duration of communication is too low as 3 months. Also, the planes arrive only twice a month and do refrain from landing in the village during winters due to snowstorm. Want to explore Utqiagvik? Pack your bags but be ready to loosen your pockets because unlike Palmerston and Tristan da Cunha, money matters to Utqiagvik. Ittoqqortoormiit is another remote place in the icy region of Greenland. Although greenery has nothing to do with Greenland, you would surely love to enjoy the sights that come along the way to this town of Ittoqqortoormiit because the only way to reach Ittoqqortoormiit is by helicopter. And that too from airstrips which is 38 km from this town. The other method to reach this place is by a boat which can be borrowed from Mines Island in eastern Greenland about 40 km away. Once you have reached Ittoqqortoormiit, you will find several buildings at the foot of a hill. The place is adorned with several beautiful sceneries and the population of about 350 people will welcome you as their guest. But unlike in the Palmerston Island, you won't get an entry into their house. Money has a huge importance here and you can get several things if you have loads of cash such as luxurious room, the hotel or even an entry into the pub that open once a week. The Danish government, which sent the first inhabitant to this place in 1925, has been in power ever since, but the people hardly need governance here as they are busy in the whale hunting or are locked indoors for the winters at Ittoqqortoormiit are brutal. The average temperature is even below the threshold temperature of minus 10 degrees Celsius required for the growth of trees. For this reason, you will find only grasses in Greenland, but don't expect them to be green at all. Once you are on the Ittoqqortoormiit island, even you will fall in love with the adventures of kayaking, dog-sled rides and walrus hunting. Only if you can pronounce the Ittoqqortoormiit 100% correctly. If you have been tired of knowing about places located in the coldest part of the earth or about the land surrounded by water all around, the town of Siwa in Egypt will bring a change for you. It is located about 550 km from the capital city of Egypt and is located around central oasis that runs for about 75 km. The town of Siwa is in the middle of the Sahara Desert with a hot and dry climate to test your endurance and route. However, once you reach Siwa, you witness a completely different sight. About 3 lakh palm trees, 70,000 olive trees, and more than 300 freshwater springs. All this in the middle of Sahara, the most rudderless desert on the earth. The town of Siwa is inhabited by 25,000 people who are all Egyptian, although buses run from 3 cities in Egypt to and from Siwa. The climate and the distance make it a troublesome journey for the travelers. And once inside the town, the only mode of transport that you can use is bicycle or a donkey to roam around the oasis. In case you have a picture of an ancient Egyptian town in your mind before you travel to Siwa, this town is going to prove it 100% correct. All you can see in Siwa is Mountain of the Dead, ancient Egyptian temples such as Temple of Oracle, houses made up of large blocks of stone, some inhabited and some in ruins. The people of Siwa stay indoors during Ramzan, and so the town is closed for the tourists. But while it's open, you can always enjoy the Siwa tea and take a ride through the palm forest. But take care not to cross the forest, as there lies an endless desert just beyond the town for hundreds of miles.